Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition, or as my friend who is with me would like to say, Ganondorf Warriors. Wow.
Sorry. Sorry, I had to do it. By the way, it's me. I'm Card. I'm back. And yeah, that was the best evil laugh I could do on a short notice. I don't know whether it was close to Ganondorf's or not, but hey.
I mean, if we're talking Ocarina of Time Ganondorf's, his is more like So, I mean, there's that. And again, apologies, because I am... Obviously, this is the same recording session as the last two episodes, and as I said in the last two episodes, I've been dealing with a cough. I actually did see the doctor. He said, I'm not sick, I've just got coughing. Sinus drainage and stuff. So I'm not sick. But beyond simply having this cough, I've been dealing with a lot of other things. And so I am in a lot of pain today, and I am tired, and my voice hurts, and that's probably why I sound really, really draggy right now.
Yep, and now it's on to the last stage of Ganondorf pretty much going through Hyrule and stomping it into bits.
Yeah. So in the last episode, we made our way to the Valley of Seers. We stomped Lana's face in. She pulled a Sia and split into multiple copies, and we stomped all their faces in. And now we are back, continuing as Ganondorf, making our way to Hyrule Castle to stomp Link and Zelda's faces in and obtain the full Triforce. So...
Man, Ganondorf must be having the time of his life right now. He's I haven't had this much fun. I haven't had this much fun since the time I got resurrected and Link didn't show up. Oh. But yeah, as sort of as we sort of hinted at last time. Yeah, gonna be talking about the Breath of the Wild Ganon fight.
Right.
And and this is probably the part where depending on where and how you play the game, it's going to be mileage may vary. Because this fight can either be super easy, super hard, super annoying, or super boring.
Yeah. So this is a joke, but to begin with, my first statement on Breath of the Wild Ganondorf fight is, which Ganondorf fight? Because there's all, 6 Ganon fights in the game?
Yeah, I am talking about the fight with Calamity Ganon himself. We will get to the blights later.
Right, of course. Yeah, and like I said, that's where the joke comes in, because obviously we're talking about Calamity Ganon and Malice Ganon, his final form there, or Dark Beast Ganon, or whatever. But again, that's the joke. We're going to talk about Breath of the Wild Ganon. Which Ganon?
Yeah, then of course the follow-up joke answer is yes.
Yes.
Because I think we have actually talked about the various blights before.
I think so.
But hey, you could always use a refresher for those who for some reason didn't tune into the last part, just skipped right here.
Right.
Also, if I may practice off my Ganon voice. Oh, Link, good to see you yet again. So, have the Master Sword. Oh, let's see. Well, let's see how you do against me this time. Wow, I am channeling a little bit of Perfect Cell. Then again, episode 50, part 3 just dropped today for Dragon Ball Z Abridged. So maybe that's why I'm channeling just a little bit of Cell right now.
Possible.
Because seriously, couldn't you see him again being voiced by the same guy who voices Link, either in the Funimation dub or by a bridge Cell, which Curtis Arnott, Dakata 101, very good voice actor, and wow, Link went down like a chump.
Yeah, Link's really not that hard. So to answer that question, I would have to say I don't know, because I stopped watching the Dragon Ball series after the Frieza saga.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. I mean, longest 5 minutes in history, people. There's a reason why that's a bit of a joke.
That was kind of what turned me off to Dragon Ball a lot, was there's 5 minutes until this planet is destroyed. 15 episodes later, the planet is still not blowing up yet.
Yep. Yeah, hell, they actually made fun of that in the Abridged series, but anyway. Yeah. Anyway, Calamity Ganon, Mouse Ganon, oh boy.
Right. So, I'll give my thoughts on it here while I'm just kind of piling my way through enemies here and not really even having to focus on the game. With Breath of the Wild, I thought Breath of the Wild was a great game. I absolutely enjoyed playing through the whole thing, had no problems with it. Got to Calamity Ganon, and he, the first time you see Calamity Ganon, and he's that big, who knows what that you're looking at, basically just a calamity. I mean, it makes sense for his name when you'll see him. But like, you get to that point, and you see him, and you're like, oh boy. And then that's just it. Like, you get to Calamity Ganon, you stand before Calamity Ganon, you got the Master Sword and all that and everything, and it's just, he's there. You step into the fight, because he's there. And it felt very anticlimactic for how much they built up Calamity Ganon throughout the whole thing. The final big reveal just didn't... It didn't fit, That's not the word I'm looking for, but it wasn't what it should have been. So of course then, you fight Calamity Ganon, and he's basically all of the blights all over again, but combined into one. And that was interesting, getting to fight, Fire Blight Ganon while he's throwing spears at you like Water Blight Ganon, and shooting lasers at you like Wind Blight Ganon, And so that was fun at first. But despite the fact that, you blast him with a gigantic ray that takes off half his health, the fight still just goes and goes and goes. And the fight just goes so long, that you're left going, okay, was there really a point to, getting the Divine Beasts, considering that, it takes so long. And, you do finally get through to a second phase, and, you're going through the second phase, and it's difficult because he's invincible, and so you have to be doing the perfect dodge, or deflecting his attacks back, or things like that. And I mean, that all worked, don't get me wrong. that it definitely made the fight a bit more refreshing once you switch to the second phase. But at the same time, for someone like me, who honestly struggled the entire game with getting either a shield bash or a perfect dodge, like, it made that it got really, really hard at that point because you could not hit him at all unless you performed one of those moves. And at the same time, again, it was refreshing and it was nice to see the sort of new stage of him and everything. But then you get right down to it, though, and aside from the fact that you have to be pulling off the perfect dodge, it's still exactly the same. The whole thing plays, the same way. And I cannot find this freaking gold skulltula worth the life of me. Is it here? Is this it? Yep, there it is. Cool. Alright. But, you go through all of it, and you're like, okay, you finally take down Calamity Ganon, and, he kind of explodes and disperses and everything. And you get into that Malice Ganon fight, and you're like, okay, this is going to be epic. It's Pig Ganon. And then, what was that fight? Shoot arrows at the spots in his body and literally do nothing else because Ganon has one attack. He shoots at you with his breath that, honestly, he uses so slowly. He literally never even comes close to hitting you. And it just, I don't know, maybe it was just my experience, but I found Calamity Ganon, especially Dark Beast Ganon, to just be a drag, It just kept going on and on and on and on, and it's like, okay, surely there's something more. You figure, okay, well, Calamity Ganon, when he went down to half health, that's when he, entered his second phase, So clearly the Dark Beast Ganon is going to enter his second phase when he's at half health. And what is his second phase? You have to shoot him underneath instead of on the side, And he was never a threat. You can do the entire thing by running around off horseback because he's so slow. So you never need to, be on him at all. It's... I don't know.
It's sad when I can say I had a tougher time with one of his spawn than the proverbial final boss.
Right. That's definitely what I'm going for with that. With what I'm trying to say is the blights were so hard, and I remember having so much trouble with them, especially Thunderblight. That was the worst one in my opinion. I had the most trouble with him. But then you did Calamity Ganon, and it's like, okay, where's the Thunderblight, super speed running around all over the place, killing you, Where's the, where's...
Yeah, where's the part with Blight Ganon, the part that I hated, the blights, where it's like, okay, where's that BS of him being able to shoot, being able to shoot out all these multiple attacks from multiple directions, canceling my perfect dodge so that even if I dodge one bolt, another one is there to smack me right in the dome.
Right. Oh yeah. And it really was all just the entire fight, even the regular Calamity Ganon fight, under Hyrule Castle, a lot of it was very focused on perfect dodge, perfect block, you use the perfect block to deflect his laser back at him and knock him to the ground so you can then run up and slash him a couple of times. Except that then you have to then turn around, and after performing the perfect the perfect block and, getting that opportunity to slash him a few times, then you have to do a perfect dodge or, and there's absolutely no way to hit him unless you have achieved that flurry rush. Because you can't hit him when he's on the walls. Your arrows don't hurt him, and even the Master Sword, who's at full power at this point, dealing at 60 power because it's glowing, it's still dealing one damage every time, and you sit there and you have to hit him 100 times just to switch to the second phase. And then 100 times more in the second phase after now he's invincible,
Yeah, so... Oh, by the way, just got to try Force. Well, you were complaining about how underwhelming the Breath of the Wild version was.
Right?
I wish for my full power to erase that fight from existence. Seriously, Nintendo, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now... if you do the fight without collecting any of the divine beasts, first off, now he has more health, which just makes the fight even more tedious. But you do get all of the blights beforehand. But even then, it's still not much of a change. It's still really just fighting Calamity Ganon and Dark Beast Ganon. So
yeah, good build up to Calamity Ganon. Not so good execution.
Yeah, poor execution on that matter. Oh hey, we're only at 15 minutes at the moment. So let's take a step out, and let's go into the adventure mode for a moment. There's a level here I wanted to do, because it leads to some cool things, if I can remember where that level is. I think it was here. No, that's not it. I don't remember which level it was supposed to be. God dang, sorry. Yeah, I guess. So these levels are fun. All attacks are devastating. I don't think we've done any of these yet. So we'll just we'll run through this. I'll just go ahead and throw out some random character for this, I guess.
Ooh, I know. Let's go with Volga.
Volga, sure, why not? We'll throw in Volga here. It doesn't matter who I use here. I could literally use someone that's level 1, and it would play exactly the same.
Yeah, it's just I like Volga. He's an interesting concept in this game. I mean, he's a dragon that took human form, that's taken human form. And you see all the ferocity of a dragon is like this. So it's like, oh, this is just awesome.
Yeah. So these all attacks are devastating missions are interesting because when it says all attacks are devastating, it means literally any attack will one-shot. This includes, but is not limited to, item shots. So I can just sit here and pelt literally every boss with arrows, and I don't even have to get close to any of them and even take any damage. Now, the problem with this is that if you get hit even once, you're screwed.
Yep, this is very much the panic paper Mario run of you can pretty much destroy everything in one shot, but everything will destroy you in one shot if you're not careful.
Oh yeah. And that's why it didn't matter to me what character I used, because whoever I used, I was just going to sit there and use arrows. Mm-hmm. And,
like I said, like I've gushed before, I really like, Volga in terms of concept and in design.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. My nephew especially really likes Volga. It's one of his favorite characters to play. And I understand that. You know, Volga is pretty awesome, let's be honest. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's completely understandable that people would really, really like playing as Volga. Okay, that was not where I want to go, I don't think. It was, but it wasn't. Excuse me. Sorry, let me just look over the map here for a second. I'm trying to find something very specific. I just have to remember where it's at. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this level. But I need a goddess harp. Do I not have one of those yet?
Not yet.
I've not unlocked the goddess harp yet. Where is a level with the goddess harp? One right there.
Yeah.
So either way, I basically have to go this way to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, alright, that's perfectly fine. I can do that. I just didn't want to have to do more levels than I needed to. Prevent reinforcements from arriving. Alright.
Ooh, it's a Zelda level.
This is not limited Zelda, so we'll be able to do this real easy. Because even though it says it's limited Zelda, it lets me play a second character. And so naturally, I'm going to jump into Linkle instead of Zelda.
because the minute you give players a choice, like they're going to default to their favorites.
Oh yes, definitely.
Take a look at ARPG. We get multiple characters in a party.
Yep. Oh, definitely. And that is one thing that I like about these levels, where it says, oh, you're limited this character, but then you're not actually limited that character. I really like it. Because it's like, yes, the characters I don't play very often, like Zelda, for instance, I don't have to play because I'm not good at them. Meanwhile, I can sit here and play the character that I am good at. So, my Linkle on my home file is only level 125, which may not sound like much considering there are, you can reach level 255, except that my second highest level character, Link, is level 71. And, everybody else is at level 50 at the highest.
Yeah, happens.
And needless to say, I play Linkle a lot.
Yeah, if I ever get my hands on a Switch and this game, which thinking about it, but cash need.
Yeah. Oh, this is a bomb shoe. I didn't even see that there were bomb shoes moving around. Why can I not? Oh my God, Midnight, get off the freaking.
It's it's always the small characters that give you the most trouble.
Yeah.
Every time.
I got a freaking bomb shoe and I don't know where it's at.
2 of them. 3 of them. Ugh, that's a lot of bomb shoes.
Sorry. Again, sinus drainage. Okay, I'm really sorry about that one. But, I mean, there's only so much I can do. So we do, like we were saying on an earlier episode, we do YouTube mostly for fun, not really as a profession. So I don't really have time to sit down and do a lot of editing. Because I don't have time to sit here and do a lot of editing, because, again, this is mostly done for fun. There's, unfortunately, only so much I can do to avoid things.
Yep.
Apparently a bomb chew blew up and we lost a keep. Which is funny because I destroyed the bomb chew. It must have been another bomb chew that was in another keep. So that bomb chew and that bomb chew. Okay. Have to take out the bomb chews before I do anything else in this level because they immediately just destroy keeps guaranteed. And especially since that one is heading off towards the allied base. That's not a good thing at all. Oh my God, Stallmaster. Get off of me. All masters are advancing toward the Allied base. There's so many things all advancing to the Allied base. Don't do that. No, well. I don't want to do that combo.
Yeah, muscle memory. Yeah, muscle memory. What you gonna do?
Yeah. But, so, anything else that we have to say on Calamity Ganon?
I've pretty much said my piece.
Yeah.
It's like built up for the entire game. It's like, and the blights, and going after, and with the blights, you're like, holy crap, these guys have been ranged from pretty from decent to hard as balls. This fight is going to be completely underwhelming. What the hell, Nintendo?
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. It really was completely underwhelming, unfortunately. I mean, that said, a lot of people would say, well, if you could do better, then, what would you do better? On that, I really don't know.
If people want to throw that whole line of logic, sit down while Card spins a yarn for you on how he would do this boss better. Never challenge a guy who's been told by his friends that he's very creative to think.
Right.
Because if you want to know how I would fix the Calamity Ganon fight, it's very, very simple. The lower his health gets down, the more of the blights attacks he starts to implement. No second phase, it's go off percentages, and if you get at 50%, that's essentially when he amalgamates all three into. That's when he amalgamates all four into himself. So if you went out of your way to get the divine beast, congratulations, you skip him, slowly amalgamating everything, and you essentially fight him at full power.
Right. That makes sense.
Then when it comes to the dark beast to fight, I know people are going to say. Unfortunately, I'd say cut that part out and instead, have it be something like, oh, I don't know, maybe sort of a dark version of of one of the divine beasts, like a giant pig monster where you have to, ride on horseback, and shoot out various corrupt eyes to eventually have the thing be defeated with when you get through all of them, it amalgamates a bunch of the corrupted guardians into a humanoid form, and you have one last fight against Calamity Gandalf or something. Come on, something like that.
Right. Yeah, one thing that and I wasn't really thinking about Dark Beast Ganon. One thing I would have done, I would have made Dark Beast Ganon more akin to Ganon from Twilight Princess. Specifically Ganon, the pig fight. Where it really is more of like a, you're actually fighting something sentient. Fairly sentient. I get that part of the idea was that Ganon was so corrupted and evil at this point, he had basically lost sentience and had become just the malice. And that makes sense to me, but I would have made it more like, the pig Ganon from Twilight Princess. You're actually fighting something that's dangerous. One big change is actually making him attack, instead of just sitting there walking around roaring on occasion, and then he maybe breathes a thing at you that you then dodge effortlessly, Make it
Yeah,
so that he claws at you. Make it so that he actually, attacks you. Make it so that he's actually, there's actually something you have to do in the fight.
Mm-hmm. And if you looked at what I was at, how I did it, it's like the more the more you whittle him down, the more of that malice recedes, and he gets smarter.
Right.
He regains the part of him that actually made the previous Ganondorf fights interesting, where it's where instead of it's just because I hate to say this, Nintendo, the fights against Beast Ganon, they're not my favorite parts of those fights.
Right.
I always the fights against Ganondorf because he throws around a lot of power, as we see in this game, but also he has magic. He's a swordsman. He actually thinks.
Right. He is he's clearly very intelligent, as he's the leader of a band of thieves, and he convinces an entire kingdom that despite the fact that he is the leader of a band of thieves, that he is sworn loyalty to them,
Yeah, so,
clearly he's got some major freaking intelligence there going on.
Or he got three sixes for his charisma.
That too.
So yeah, it's if it was me redesigning this fight, I'd start off, him full monster, then slowly stripping that away to just leaving, him regaining his essentially, his humanity, but still being super. But instead of it actually being, him being humanoid, he's this half Terminator monster that maybe thanks you for actually knock him out of this so that he could finally do things the way he wants.
Right.
Because because we've always seen Ganondorf as he does this, but he always does it not because he's being influenced by Demise, but because he wants to do this on his own terms.
Right.
And so to reduce one of your best sort of warlock characters into just a monster kind of got me just a little bit salty.
Right. And on a side note along with that, I get that they went with Ganon because Ganon is so popular and stuff. But wouldn't it have been even cooler if instead of, maybe we have Calamity Ganon, but after, he's the whole malice Calamity thing, and he's completely insane, but then you take out that malice and you find Demise, and it gives you a really good link back to Skyward Sword, where it's oh look, it's not, it is the spirit of Demise reborn,
Yeah, that would also be a very good way of he's screw it, I'm bypassing the resurrection and coming at you coming at you mano a mano. Let's do this. Right,
definitely. That, in my opinion, because they do say in the game, he has given up on attempting to regenerate, attempting to revive. He has become just the Calamity. It would have been great if they had used that idea by saying, because Demise was the original, so of course Demise, it seems like Demise should have been the one coming back, not Ganon.
Or they do that whole bait and switch, when you beat him down, after you beat his the giant monster form, it's oh okay, like, okay, like it's over. Then next thing you know, boom, demise shows up. Like all the malice, all the corruption, it coalesces into one place, and then boom, demise shows up. Like, and just to really twist the knife, have this show up after you see Zelda again. After you've worked so long to set her free, her and Link are about to get their happy ending. Then boom, black lightning right in front of the two of them, and demise shows up. He's like,
right.
I thought it would have been easy, and to think it would have been all I had to do to get you to appear was to almost kill your little hero. If it would have been this easy to get you out of hiding, I wouldn't have bothered with the whole resurrection thing.
Right.
Seriously, I could think of a bunch of different ways of how I would actually write him up, demise, because he definitely seems like a guy that is all about he's very petty. He's just about getting him what's it called? Yeah, getting his petty revenge on Hylia, and even if it means he needs to go through someone else,
right?
Because let's face it, someone like that, he would target the loved ones of the of someone just to draw them out,
right?
And that would also sort of give Demise this despicable aspect of him, where it's like, Gandalf is probably a big bad, but there's almost a sense of honor to him, because sure, he does a bunch of evil things, but he normally only targets the people that directly denied him.
Right.
With Drudy, he's like, okay, if I may go back to Ocarina of Time, it's like, okay, you're going to deny me of the gem. Boom! I've cut off the your food supply. You give me the gem, and I'll reverse, and it'll be and you get your food back for your people, because I know that's what you want.
Right.
With King Zora, he's like oh. With King Zora, it's like, okay, it's like okay,
kill them all.
It's like, hey, I just screwed up with you. I messed with your god. I'll put him back to normal if you give me the sapphire. And with the Deku tree, he's like, oh, you want this curse removed? Hand over the emerald.
Right.
He always just goes after the people denying him of what he wants. Sure, the little people get stepped on, and hell, you can even see that with with Zant, because he's like, hey, you want power? Bing, I'll give you power. Just get me the Triforce, and I'll give you all the power you could ever want. Right.
And on that, it really is. Ganondorf is, Ganondorf has always been intelligent. Ganondorf has always been cunning. Ganondorf has always been human, for lack of a better term. And while Ganon himself has had times where he's not, I feel like if you're going to go all out with a Demon King, especially in a manner as heavy as the Calamity was, that would have been the perfect opportunity to utilize the character that you literally designed as being the character that is the great evil, the pettiest, the one who is doing everything that he's done just because he can,
Yeah, it's like that guy who, upon his death throw, cursed not only Hylia, but the guy who beat him to be locked in a never-ending cycle of reincarnation and wanton destruction.
Right.
This is the guy who demise is essentially the devil himself, and you had the perfect opportunity to bring him back in Breath of the Wild, but you're like, nah, it's Ganondorf again, despite Ganondorf just being a reincarnation of him.
Right. But with that said, we actually did an extra level over what I was planning this because we were talking. That said, though, I think I'll go ahead and end this episode here. So I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please feel free to subscribe. Please feel free to check the video description down below for a link to the playlist. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what you thought of, since this whole episode was basically focused on Calamity Ganon, tell us what you thought of Calamity Ganon.
And tell me, what do you think of my sort of, reimagining of the Calamity Ganon fight? Because I would love to hear feedback, because this is just something that came off the top of my head.
Right.
Give me time, and I could play it even better.
Right. That said, I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time.
Ciao!
See you later.